there, Kerry?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for all your participation in the group. You're very active and you've made a big difference. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's
where are
good
you
to
calling from?
calling from Venice Beach, California.
All right, very cool. Who introduced you to ER Shred?
Facebook did. It was a suggested page.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, that's cool. All right, let's roll with that then. What is your passion?
Filmmaking.
Filmmaking. Are you
Mhm.
okay? Tell
So
me
yeah,
about that. You're a filmmaker.
the filmmaker, actor, filmmaker, festival founder, and producer. But I also was doing home physical therapy, but that really wasn't my passion, although it did teach me how to be a better director. So, because
Wow, that's so cool.
somebody's not grasping it, you got to step back and recommunicate. So, but filmmaking is my passion.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, it's cool to have a filmmaker with us.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, not too many people can say they're friends with a filmmaker. So now we got a filmmaker in the group.
There you go.
Okay, so give me an idea. ER Shred is introduced to you. How does that work? What were you feeling like? What was life like? And then what was your experience?
I sent you a picture on Messenger if you can go in and grab it. I
Okay.
started actually on Isagenix in 2016 or 2017. And
Okay.
then what happened, what I started to feel like was like, I'm using the cleanses as kind of a way to like, oh, I can go and kind of treat myself and go eat some pastries and sugar or whatever. And then, oh, I can just cleanse. And so it was a different kind of yo-yoing. So when I first started,
You were yo-yoing. Yes.
I was, because you can use the cleanse for that as like an excuse, like, oh, I can go and do whatever I want to do, and then I'll just come back and cleanse.
Hilarious. You know what? We actually used to teach that in our marketing. I'm ashamed to admit it, but we did. We would actually say, you can scribble all over your page of life. You can eat what you want, do what you want. And then every now and then you just turn that pencil around and erase those effects.
Mhm.
Not so true. Not a good idea.
No,
So thank you
no.
for that.
So when I started on this, it was just like that was the natural next move
Mhm.
because it was starting to get boring. And now it's like every time I do a cleanse, it goes in deeper and it goes in deeper because I don't have all that other stuff to get rid of that first day or even the second day. So it's made it much easier.
Yeah.
But this was really kind of a different thing. The two things, the first time I did a butter shot, I felt the left side of my brain was like getting a massage. It was
Wow.
it was like kind of buzzing, I just was
Oh my gosh.
sitting in my living room going, holy shit, like
It's fuel, man. The brain wants that butter.
it does. Not it was just so like so obvious. I just sat there laughing, going, oh my God. So there was that. And the other thing was a friend and I were talking about the fact that I was going to, because I didn't cook either. Before, so you guys have me cooking. For years, I wouldn't cook. Like,
I don't ever eat out anymore. It's funny you should say that because last night, all I do is cook now. I mean, I cook multiple times a day. I mean, I love to cook, and I used to eat out quite a bit as well. And so it's so cool when you think about the savings of money from
oh,
not eating out, and you can invest that money into the highest quality food, the manna from heaven that's going to serve you, and you can afford to do it just by not eating out.
my grocery bill like dropped at least half
Yeah.
from what I was eating before. The other thing I thought, two things. One, a friend and I were talking about the fact that I was going to be eating more meat was going to make me more dense and lower my vibrational frequency.
Mm-hmm.
It is making me more dense, but in a good way.
Yeah.
But my vibrational frequency has increased.
I would agree.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh man, like the other day I went for a run. I usually just go out to the pier and then back. It's 5 miles round trip. So I'll go out to the pier and I'll do an Instagram live. And I went out to the pier and I was like, shit, it's closed because Universal was filming. And I thought, okay, well, I did want to increase my distance. So, and I was feeling really good. And the only thing I didn't even do a butter shot, was I had nitro and hydrate. together.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I was telling my, like, I could really feel it. The body is running so clean. I could really feel it. And so it's like, oh, I'm just going to keep on going. So I went up to Perry's Pizza, and then I went up to the next one. And then I went further. I'm like, oh, I'll just go up to the Jetty. I ended up doing 13.2 miles that day.
Holy moly.
I know.
You had that moment. I'm going to just start calling it the bionic moment, because I had that too.
Really?
I had the moment where I started crying because I thought, I didn't know I was this powerful.
Yeah. Oh, it was me. I could feel it. And I was like, holy shit. It was a really good thing, because I was looking like for the next marker, that next stoplight. And I was like, okay, I don't see any more stoplights right now. And there's a guy up there in his own little world throwing stuff out on PCH. So I think this is a really good point to turn around. And I had just posted something, and I turned around and I looked one last time. I'm like, oh, there is another light. It's like, go home. You need to go home. But what I decided was, I'm going to be working towards being able to do that run on a regular basis. But I need to make sure that I really prepare my body for that. Take a couple extra bucks and a hydrate stick, put it in my phone sleeve, because there's, I can go get a bottle of water and put that in, because I did, like, there wasn't a lot of water available anywhere. I did find some.
Kerry, can you talk people through this?
So the top left is when I started Isagenix completely.
Okay, hold on. Let's show them again. I'm going to show them. The top left, is that this one, right?
The other side.
Right here. I'm just going to talk so that this is this one right here. Go ahead.
Yep. That's where I started. And then right next to that was when I started ER Shred.
So that's this one right here.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then the bottom two were me last month. And just completely, like, yesterday I was wearing.
Now, wait a second, because that waist looks incredibly small there on the bottom. I mean, do you know how many inches you've lost overall?
Total lost, not up to yesterday. I didn't measure, and I can't find the measure for December. But when the last time I did measure, after like a month, 18 point, either 25 or 75 inches. 18.25 or 75. I couldn't read my writing.
And that's overall? And then do you know how many on the waist?
No, I would say at least 3 or 4 inches.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that much is obvious. You can see that. I mean, it's.
It feels so incredible, so good. Yeah. It was just so easy.
Yeah, so easy. It's so fun to hear you say that.
So what my plan is now, because I've only read some of the guides, I've watched some of the videos more than once, but I'm not doing this shred, but I'm refocusing for what is my plan for this year? How am I going to approach the rest of this year on the shreds? What do I want? And so I can go back in and really study the rest of the guides, so that as I take off the next part of the year, my body is just going to go someplace where I don't think I've ever had it.
Yeah. I want to ask you another question.
Sure.
It gets better, by the way, just to acknowledge what you're saying. No, it gets way better. It gets better and better and better. Because I'm at 18 months, and even though I'm laid up with the back, surprisingly, this injury would have set me reeling completely if it wasn't for ER Shred. But what is it? You're so clued in with the community. You seem to just like dig on it. What is it about that you're loving so much?
There's so much information that you guys share, so much education. I mean, it's so different than even other groups in Isagenix. And I've sent people over here, some people that aren't using the system, but they want, like, I'm seeing what they're posting on Facebook, and I'm like, I want you to go check out this group, because maybe they didn't want it then, they might want it later on. But you guys educate. It's just not, I don't feel like you're just doing sales at all. It's like, we're educating on the health, on what all of this is about. I never knew about grass-fed. I knew grass-fed. I didn't know grass-finished.
Right.
That's a whole different thing. I've been using Kerry Gold, obviously, because, Kerry. Hey, listen, they named a whole county after me in Ireland. Come on now.
That's pretty killer. You got your own butter. That's pretty
do.
Hey, I just want to thank you. Is there anything else you want to say before we close it out?
No, I think I'm good. I think I covered everything. Like, just thank you for everything that you guys all do in here.
It's a pure joy. We've got Susan Rothman.